Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, everybody. We are back with another CxO talk show, and this time around, we have the technology show that we'll be doing. Apologies for the delay. We got a little bit delayed. We had some internet troubles. That's why we couldn't make it at the 4 o'clock dot. But we are going to have this 15 to 20-minute conversation on. Empowering women through coding. So there's a lot of talk around making inclusive workplaces. There's a lot of talk making women a part of the mainstream. And you have two women today also who will be discussing why it's important for girls also to branch out into coding as a career, what opportunities are there, what can be explored, what are the new trends. तो हम ये सारी बातें आज के टेक्नोलॉजी वाले शो में करने वाले हैं. I am really glad that I have with me Aqsa Kauser, who is the head of AI and ML with Red Buffer, and she's also a Google development expert. Assalamu alaikum, Aqsa. Thank you for doing this for us.
Walaikum assalam. Pleasure to be here.
ग्रेट एक्सीलेंट सो इट रियली हैपेंस के बहुत सारे पैनल्स पे हमने देखा है ना कि बहुत ज़्यादा हजरात बैठे होते हैं और आज मैं और आप दोनों बैठे हुए हमने थोड़ी सी इंक्लूजन की कोशिश की थी, आर अदर स्पीकर्स couldn't make it, but we're talking about coding and you and I would recall that when perhaps we were growing up, which wasn't that many decades ago या बहुत पहले बात नहीं है, बट कुछ अरसे पहले की भी ही बात है कि इतना ज्यादा नहीं था. हम जब करियर पाथ्स की भी बात करते थे तो मेरी मिस होती थी वो सेक्टर था कन्वेंशनल करियर ऑप्शंस बीइंग द फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटीज. अब आजकल के बच्चे जो हमारे बच्चे आगे के जनरेशन जो यंग अडल्ट्स हैं अभी, व्हेन दे आर ग्रोइंग अप, we hear about समर कैंप्स जो छोटे बच्चों के साथ हो रहे हैं कोडिंग के, और आप और मैं सोचते हैं कि यार ये पता नहीं कैसे अंडरस्टैंड भी करेंगे, डू दे हैव द acumen to अंडरस्टैंड एंड अडैप्ट इट, बट हैव थिंग्स रियली चेंज्ड, हैव दे टेकन लाइक a 180-degree turn?
I think it's a very positive change. Women have always been in coding. It's just कि the number has been very less. या तो नंबर बहुत कम था या फिर जो थी वो कभी पता नहीं लगता था कि वो हैं. एंड ऑब्वियसली एज टेक्नोलॉजी जिस तरह ग्रो कर रही है उसके साथ साथ ये भी हो रहा है कि सोशल मीडिया एंड न्यूज़ एंड एवरीथिंग जस्ट स्प्रेड्स वेरी फास्ट नाउ. सो जहाँ उसकी बुरी चीजें है वहाँ उसकी कुछ पॉजिटिव साइड भी है, दैट नाउ यू आर आल्सो गेटिंग टू नो अबाउट more women doing great things, and not just in coding, just generally in technology and fields jahan women nahi aati thi. I think it's more about men dominated fields than it is about coding and women. So I think the initiative jo ke ab ho raha hai with coding के summer camps and even जैसे robo miners है और उनके camps होते हैं, children go and they're trying to create like small robots and इस तरह की चीजें. So that age actually is the age जहाँ बच्चा बहुत ज़्यादा सीखता है. So and जितनी ज़्यादा उनका exposure होगा उतना they will also be able to better understand as they study and grow कि which field they want to go into, and whether or not they like coding enough, or they would want to explore this, or they would want to go into technology or not. So I think it's a great initiative, and I feel that definitely that change is there and it is coming. And even we see more companies being women friendly for work, and wanting to have more women in the office. अब वो प्रेफर करते हैं कि जो वुमेन कोडर्स हों वो भी हों टीम के अंदर, and it's not just male dominated. So I think that's a great change.
Yeah, great. And I think what you're also saying is कि awareness भी ज़्यादा आई लोगों में. When the company sprouted up, when the summer camps that we're talking about, and when people thought, okay, what other skills do we need to instill in our children? A positive change was that coding became one of them. Robotics became one of them. So what do you think are the career options and opportunities for somebody who wants to pursue a career in coding? Because हमें बहुत सारे लोग जो हैं वो professionals भी देखते हैं, हमें बहुत सारे parents भी देखते हैं, हमें बहुत सारे young professionals भी देखते हैं जो कि academics और अभी professional life के दरमियान में हैं. So what career options are there in your opinion, and how can these young professionals then pursue these career options?
I think career options jitni male ke paas hai with coding, they're all there for women, and they always have been actually. But now we have, more women with more confidence in coding, and sari aapki wo career fields are there for you to explore, for women to explore, whether they want to go into, web development, whether they want to go into, full stack, back end, front end, UI designing, whatever they want to go into, whether they want to go into, machine learning, data engineering, data science, system designs. I mean, all of these things are there. So वो जो कुछ भी परस्यू करना चाहें, आई थिंक इसमें इनमें से कोई भी ऐसी फील्ड नहीं है जो कि मैं कहूँ कोडिंग में ऐसी कोई फील्ड है दैट इज डिफिकल्ट फॉर वुमेन टू परस्यू. आई थिंक दे ऑल इक्वली पॉसिबल for women to pursue and make a career in.
So Aqsa, what enticed you to pursue this then? अपनी स्टोरी बताए ना कि आपने कैसे सोचा कि मैं खुद जो हूँ लेट मी पिक अप दिस फील्ड. Was it a fluid decision, was it a conscious decision, या ऐसे did you just stumble upon it?
I so I always liked math and physics and ये
Hey
चीजें
guys,
मुझे हमेशा पसंद थी. And I actually wanted to pursue a career in robotics, and that's how I ended up doing electrical engineering, and I wanted to pursue higher studies in robotics. But towards the end of my degree, electrical engineering degree, I got introduced to artificial intelligence, and it caught my interest. I was also so for both robotics and AI. I mean, it was common. What fascinated me was common, that you're trying to put human intelligence into something. So AI was more like, okay, this is something that you can use to put intelligence into literally anything, whether that's medicine, whether that's, self-driving cars, whether it's, anything else. So it got my interest, and I did a lot of self-learning. क्योंकि मैं electrical की थी, even though, I knew coding and all that, we do that in electrical. But still, there was a lot of ML to learn. And so I did a lot of self-learning, online courses, etc. And then eventually joined a startup first initially. And uske baad phir I ended up here at Red Buffer.
Great, excellent. And Irfan, Malik is also joining us. Assalamu alaikum, Irfan. You have to unmute yourself. Sorry, I had to mute you for a bit. Yes, go ahead.
okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
All right.
Irfan, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, actually I was waiting, but there was some delay, I think. I
There
just
was a delay. There was a delay on multiple angles today, but I'm glad that everybody is slowly making it. We've just started off, so thank you so much. Irfan is the CEO of. How do you pronounce the name of your
it's
organization?
Xeven. It's Xeven Solutions. Xeven.
Xeven solution. Okay, great, excellent. We have just started talking about how coding as a career option is something that's sprouting for women, and we see a lot of girls who are in the mainstream. So I was asking us Aksa about her journey, and it's a lot of self learning. So I'll pose the next question to you, Irfan. कि सेल्फ लर्निंग ही हो रही है, एकेडेमिया में तो अभी पढ़ा नहीं रहे, और जो फ्यूचर करियर्स है उसके अंदर आपका जितनी भी हम ये बात करते हैं सारी फ्रीलांसिंग की कर लें, या हम कर लें वेब डेवलपमेंट की कर लें, या हम ये देखें कि विच फ्रीलांसर्स ग्लोबली फॉरगेट पाकिस्तान आर अर्निंग द मैक्सिमम मनी, तो उसके ऊपर ये सारी टेक्नोलॉजी और कोडिंग वाली चीजें सबसे टॉप पे आती हैं. So why do you think it's important for young professionals to actually learn this trick?
See, first of all, thank you very much for having me here. Aqsa, I heard your story. I heard your struggle. Impressive. And well, when we're talking about coding, first thing, the title is Empowering Women Through Coding. I would say, see, coding itself is not something that can empower anyone. You can say programming, you can say web development, you can say software development, you can say AI modeling and all that stuff, because there are many other factors that are, that collaborate to give you that power. Why I'm saying so, why I'm highlighting this thing, if we see around us nowadays, people are opening up academy and they are charging heavy amount to people, saying that okay, learn Python, learn .NET and be a good freelancer. I strongly believe that learning Python or any programming language won't make you powerful, won't make you an independent freelancer, or it won't make you, competent enough to get into a big software house. Now we're talking about, let's say, programming, let's say different development platform. There's a huge gap. The gap is this. Now we have 200 people on the floor at the moment working for me. And if I say how many women are doing coding, I would say 2 to 3 out of 200. Now comes the challenge, that what is the challenge? Why females, women are not getting into the coding part? Why they are more into content writing, social media, designing? Why not coding? Because if we see, if you just analyze, I found them more creative throughout my career. I've been in technology since last 10 to 12 years. I found them more creative because coding is all about decision making. So the first thing is this: what we are teaching in universities is completely different than what we are doing in industry. There's a huge gap, no doubt about that. And now, talking about self-learning, I strongly believe when females, whoever is listening to this podcast, when females are coding, sitting in some kind of isolation, they won't get that exposure, that power, what they can get within a team, with a within a corporate culture, within software house, or with some mentors. They will do the coding, but no one will go and tell them whether what they are doing is absolutely according to the standard or not. They'll spend a couple of years and eventually they realize that, oh no, this is not up to the standard, we are doing something else. And now there is a challenge. The challenge is this: when some female programmer coming into the software house, there's a challenge that she'll be sitting with the people. Let's say I have 50 people in one hall and 49 are male and one is female doing the coding. There is a great discouragement. There is great resistance for the female to come into the industry with the coding skills. My recommendation, my suggestion, I would strongly request to the software house owners that they have to create that culture. They will have to encourage female developer, female programmer, female AI modeler to come on board and give them this kind of a sportive environment where they can flourish themselves. So when we're talking about coding is a one step. The next step is developing problem solving skills, algorithm skills, and all the other things.
बिल्कुल नहीं, and this is a very valid observation, Irfan, what you are also talking about, and what Aqsa was also talking about, that now it's really about people just doing coding, but जो हम बात कर रहे हैं, बिल्कुल आपने भी सही कहा कि वो 200 में से 2 बच्चियां pursue करती हैं, and they take it up as a career option. But the most important thing for you and I and Aqsa to discuss right here under this platform is, which I will pose to both you and Aqsa, the question is that how lucrative is the field? So you have mentioned that इतनी सारी branches निकलती हैं. हम तो coding की बात करें ना, but उसके अंदर अगर हम जाएं और हम देखें कि जो web development है, फिर software है, फिर पूरी एक apps development है, फिर उसके back end front end जो operations हैं उनको देखना, full stack डेवलपमेंट करना. तो इतने सारे जब ऑप्शंस हैं, how lucrative is this particular field? So somebody who was coming to you, let's say with a 2 years 3 years of experience, relatively starting off, a fresh starter, उनके लिए ये कितना lucrative है career? What is the career progression like? तो आप शुरू कहाँ से करेंगे और एंड तक कहाँ तक जा सकते हैं? Irfan, you can answer this first and then I'll move on to it.
See, when we are talking about scope of this particular field, the scope is huge. Sky is the limit in this field. Trust me. When you are getting into the coding, getting into the development, basically you you're getting the power to convert your idea or someone else's idea to life, right? Now there are two ways, two different methods. I'm seeing people coming into the coding to become a coder, and I'm seeing people coming into the coding to become an entrepreneur, to become a problem solver. This is a mindset that you need to decide whether you're going to be a good coder. Are you going to explore multiple things? When I entered into the industry, someone told me a beautiful thing. Someone said, "Hey, Irfan, what do you want to be in your life?" Because I was more interested in programming. He said, "What do you want to be?" And I said, "I want to be a good web developer." He said, "Let me suggest you. The time is changing. You need to be technology independent." By technology independent mean that you need to learn many things. And I figured I have worked in 23 different tech stacks. So I figured out one thing. If you are flexible enough, and if you have got a growth mindset, and you are going to be an entrepreneur, you're going to be technology independent. You'll start from the basic, maybe front end, maybe some basic PHP, basic .NET, or something like this with with algorithmic sense, and then you step on gradually. Touch different technology, go to mobile development, web development, backend development, server-side programming, do multiple things. And eventually you will become and you will get an exposure that no technology will be difficult for you. Why I'm saying so? If somebody is spending 4 or 5 years is only .NET Core and doing all the stuff, and he has no knowledge about ROR or maybe Python, then there is a transition complexities. He'll stuck into this field for a longer period of time, and there is not a huge scope for that person, because technology will go away, new technology will come in, and he'll eventually become irrelevant. If you're flexible enough, if you have that growth mindset to switch between different technologies, then you will, there is a huge scope. The sky is the limit. And eventually, I always say to all my programmer, the goal should be that you are not coding after 4 years. You're not coding at all. You are getting someone else code for you. You should be, smart enough to design the solution and be at the top layer. So when you are there is no upper limit. You can earn as much as you want.
Excellent, excellent. Aqsa, your thoughts on the same thing. What is a typical career progression for somebody who's coming in from this particular career?
So, since Irfan has covered the rest of the field, so I guess I'll talk more about, with respect to machine learning, the field that I come from. That's a relatively newer field. It's been there for a while, but it's a very fast-paced field. And I think there's a lot of opportunity here. And how career progresses in this is that, we have machine learning seeping into everything now, right? Into medicine, into industry, into anything, social media. It's everywhere. So being a part of this field right now, I think it's a great opportunity for people to be part of something that's actually revolutionizing into all the systems now. So how career progression looks like in this, you have subfields in this domain. In AI, you have subfields. You have natural language processing. You have computer vision. You have reinforcement learning, and so you have all of these subfields. And based on your interest, you can eventually choose one of these and perform better, and basically progress your career in one of those fields. So there are two things that you can do. You can either go like in vertical depth, and in that there's opportunity on work with respect to research, for example, because there's still a lot of research that's going on in ML. Or you could be towards the side where you're building solution based on all that is still out there with respect to machine learning. So using that in practical solutions, and how to design systems around ML now, how to integrate ML into different things. So that's there as well. And on the business side of this, if you want to eventually go towards the business side of this, so you could either be end up as a manager, as a tech lead. You could also go towards a consultancy and sales, and towards the business side, where you're like designing possible solutions, where AI can be used. You're looking for those opportunities and sharing those with people and companies. So, like Irfan said, sky is the limit, and there's a lot to explore.
Great, excellent, excellent. Different dimensions, and I really like the fact that Irfan, you also mentioned कि entrepreneurship भी एक option है, और एक क्या मतलब it's one of the, I think, the quickest rewarding also, because there's so many problems that we have in this country to solve. We were just having a very nice discussion we've recently had with some agri-tech startups and with some health tech startups. I come from the startup ecosystem. I run my own startup, and I want to share with you guys what happened with me. So in the COVID, जब हम बंद हुई ना सारी दुनिया, and we all realized that there is some personal capacity building. I found a mentor in one of the programs, from a Vietnamese US guy, and he told me that you've been running a ed startup for the last 3 years. Where is the tech side of it? और वो इतनी बेसिक सी चीज थी क्योंकि मेरे पास टेक्नोलॉजी वाली साइड ही नहीं थी, राइट? एंड एज अ स्टार्टअप फाउंडर, I had two options. I would have let the startup sink, or I would have thought about plan B, which eventually turned out to become plan A. And I had to convert the entire business model towards, just focusing it into an ed tech startup. I want to put this to you guys now. There are so many young girls who are pursuing entrepreneurship. I know that because I meet with a lot of them. I meet with a lot of women who have been running successful businesses, चाहे जो भी नौयत हो उनकी, चाहे वो रेस्टोरेंट्स हो, चाहे वो हैंडीक्राफ्ट की दुकान हो, चाहे वो एम्पायर हो एक रेजिन के बिजनेस की, या कैंडल्स बनाने की, या whatever. Sky's the limit. How are we guiding these women to channel their business operations and processes, to learn coding themselves? It is really difficult to explain to a web developer कि मुझे अपनी वेबसाइट में ये चीजें चाहिए, बट मेरे 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 नजदीक अगर वर्डप्रेस मुझे चलाना आता है तो वो मेरी जिंदगी आसान होती है. सो आई वांट योर इंडिविजुअल थॉट्स ऑन दिस. इरफान, यू कैन गो फर्स्ट ऑन दिस, कि कितना जरूरी है ये छोटी छोटी चीजें लिखना, बिकॉज यू आर इन द बिजनेस, you are providing these services, and you can relate to my misery कि मुझे वो लैंग्वेज ही नहीं बोलनी आती ना एक लेमैन वाली, कि मैं एक्सप्लेन कैसे करूं अपने डेवलपर को कि मुझे ये चीजें सीखनी है. आई माइट एज वेल एंड अप लर्निंग इट माई सेल्फ. तो वो मैं क्या करूं, कहाँ से शुरू करूं, और कितना जरूरी है ये लर्न करना मेरे लिए?
That's a very important question, and I've got comprehensive answers. In fact, since last 3-4 days, I'm working on it. Actually, the key factor in my company is that my doctors are the technical person. They're MBBS, they're doing their clinics, and they are my technical leads. Why I'm having them as a technical lead, the doctors, because I am creating medical solutions, and once someone is coming with a medical problem, with a medical thing, they are able to understand it better, and they are able to communicate it to my team, and they're acting as a bridge. Now, why? Because they understand the tech from the surface, the technical jargons and everything. I trained them. I designed a course for my medical team to empower them with the basic technical knowledge to understand, know how they can use technology. So yesterday I was talking to a doctor, and she was on the opinion that, do I have to learn Python? Let's forget about doctor. Let's say I was talking to some non-technical person from any other field than tech. And she was asking, do I have to learn coding? Do I have to learn all the basic things to be in the technical field? I said, no, this is not mandatory. And this is a message for every person. If you want to design solution in any field, as Aqsa said, that there are so many opportunities in ML. Basically, as you know, that I'm a blockchain trainer as well as I'm a data science trainer. So what I say is this. Let me show you something. Let's say I have this object in my hand, and you don't know what it is by the look of it. So if I say, can you tell me in how many ways you can use this project, what you can create out of it? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But if you know ins and out of this project, this is something that we put on a camera to provide a proper light. Now you will be able to create something good out of it. Now your brain start thinking it. So what I say is this. Get the exposure. If you cannot dive deep into the coding, understand what is AI, what is ML, what is CNN, what is blockchain. And it is very easy to understand from the surface so that you can build your exposure. At least your brain will start throwing different ideas that you can get it convert from any XYZ coder. As Jack Ma says, you just cannot be the expert in all the fields. You cannot do everything, but at least you should be strong enough to generate ideas, to think about it. As I show you this object, you said, no, I don't know that. That means you send a signal to your brain, stop it. You don't know that, know it, you cannot use it, you cannot create something creative out of it. So that is how I say get the exposure. So how I am fixing this? I'm designing a course. Let's say yesterday we recorded 2 hours of content in design field, telling our non-designers that what are Cinema 4D, how we use Photoshop, and yeah.
I'm your target audience. I don't know anything about it. There you
Similarly.
go.
So I'll send you the video. After watching this content for the 45 minutes, you will know all ins and out of the design process, all the tools, all the basic jargons. And if you're handling some client to get a design project on board, you'll be more than enough to convince them what you're going to do, how you're going to do, and how you're going to design it. And similarly, we have designed a course in .NET, in Android, iOS, Node, backend, AI, ML, CNN, blockchain, so that I could empower my people to go and talk about tech, start thinking it. I am feeding all that basic information to my think tank, who are creative by nature, who can produce ideas, but they are limited because of this technical jargon. I'm giving them the exposure. And eventually I'm going to upload it for every single person who wants to empower him or herself technically to produce more ideas. Basically, if we use the word sky is the limit, sky is the limit for entrepreneurs, not for employees, not for coders. Pardon my language, because that is the bitter fact. Sky is the limit for entrepreneurs only. If you are a coder, if you are working for someone, there are limitations. The bitter truth and the fact is there are limitations. Someone somewhere who is going to start or who is doing at a good scale, you need to start producing ideas, start solving problem. As you just said, we have so many problems around us. You can solve any problem. And then this is why, and this is when we say sky's the limit. So this such a exposure is important to me, and that's why I'm designing all those courses.
No, we will certainly look forward to these courses. And Aqsa, because Irfan has answered this in detail, let me pose a different question to you now. I'm again gonna go back to female entrepreneurs, because I understand the plight that they go in, and I'm talking about really micro entrepreneurs, और जिनको हम सिखाते हैं ना कि भाई डिजिटल एफिकेसी क्या है, क्यों जरूरी है डिजिटल पे आना, हम बेसिक बातें करें. Once they have done all that we want them to do, unfortunately डिजिटल की जो डेफिनेशन हमारे मुल्क में अभी तक है, वो आप अपने सोशल मीडिया के 3 पेजेस बना लें हर प्लेटफॉर्म पे और फिर उस पे कंटेंट थ्रो कर लें. What we are talking about is now integrating their processes to providing, let's say, e-commerce facilities, or routing their customers through an app, or looking at payment channels that they can integrate financial gateways on their systems, etc. Aqsa, मुझे उसमें बताएं कि when we're talking about service provision, ठीक है, एक हमारे पास कस्टमर है जो कि वो एंटरप्रेन्योर है, और एक सर्विस प्रोविजन है जो कि एक एक्सपर्ट हमें दे रहा है, right? How important it is for that entrepreneur to understand the process, और उस प्रोसेस को अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए एक एंटरप्रेन्योर. You can take me as a case, and just tell me that, Noor, if this is what you are looking at, अगर कस्टमर इंटीग्रेशन करनी है, फाइनेंशियल गेटवेज बनाने हैं अपने प्रोसेसेस में, तो ये वाले सवाल जरूर पूछना प्रोफेशनल से before you give him or her the contract.
Okay, interesting question. I'm not sure if I'm the best person to answer this, since I don't come from the broader software full stack background. But the problem I think that I've understood, how much do you need to know the system, right? How much do you need to know technology for your business to grow, right? And आपकी बात ठीक है, especially for female entrepreneurs, I think they tend to explore very less, right? और वो WhatsApp पे या Facebook pages या Instagram के pages के ऊपर वो ये चीजें कर रहे होते हैं। लेकिन अगर उन्हें चीज़ों के बारे में एक्सप्लोर करें और पता हो तो इट वुड हेल्प अ लॉट। फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल जिस डायरेक्शन में अभी दुनिया जा रही है, so मतलब everybody is trying to the products that are being created are being created around simplicity of use, right? Even with ML and machine learning, अभी जैसे गूगल है, अमेज़न है, ये सब अपने प्रोडक्ट्स इसके अराउंड बना रहे हैं कि ओके यू नो फॉर समवन हू डजंट नो मशीन लर्निंग, हाउ डू दे ट्रेन अ मॉडल, राइट? हाउ डू दे ट्रेन अ मॉडल? उसकी सर्विसेज बन रही हैं। उन्होंने किसी इमेज के ऊपर कोई प्रोसेसिंग करनी है, कोई डिटेक्शंस करनी है, कोई डिटेक्ट करना है, तो they really don't need to do anything except have data, right? And plug that in and they will have the output. So that's where it's important for everybody to just know about technology, you know okay, what opportunities are out there, right? For example, you talked about payment. ये Facebook जैसे है, Facebook के साथ बहुत सारी इंटीग्रेशन हो सकती हैं आपकी, राइट? फॉर अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स। इवन चैटबॉट्स की इंटीग्रेशन हो सकती है फेसबुक के साथ, यू नो इफ यू नॉट ऑनलाइन एंड यू कांट रिस्पॉन्ड बट यू हैव सम यू नो क्वेश्चंस जो कि कॉमनली पूछे जाते हैं about the product, so you can have you know the chatbot to answer some of those questions, right? So is tarah karke there are a lot of things, and all of those tools out there are being built for this, right? To target this audience who don't know how to code, who don't know much about the technology, and who don't want to actually sit and code. They don't want to do that, right? They want to sell, they want to expand their business. That's something that they want to do, but they don't want to pause the business and sit and learn coding and do that. But that's where these tools come in, right?
Yeah.
So but to be able to use those tools, to be able to use a certain tool, you actually need to first know it exists out there, and you need to know, okay, you know what advantage it will bring to your business. So that's where I think I second Irfan on the exposure part, that you need to have that exposure. You need to know what AI is, what ML is. Not now, but maybe once you expand your business, at one point you may want to include it, right? And similarly, knowing about other things, for example, with all these systems, what are the things that you can integrate for your ease, having a know-how of all the tools that especially these big tech tech giants provide you for business, and for specifically for new business and entrepreneurs. क्योंकि ये जो tech giants हैं, they are especially working to target startups and to target entrepreneurs and to help in their business. So it's very good to have a know-how of that. Once you have that, तो चाहे आप कोई tool use कर रहे हैं or you have someone else working for you, you will at least be able to tell them what you need, right? You want to increase your sales or you want to target a certain audience. They are two very different things, right? You want to make a larger money profit or you want to have more followers. They're two completely different goals. So understanding how technology affects all of these goals is important, so that you can, whether you're doing it yourself or you are having someone else do it for you, you are able to at least translate that goal to them, so you get what you need.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I second you, and I feel the pain very vehemently, because for a startup, a budget would always be less, and the fact of the matter is that for me to use that budget to the best of my capabilities, to understand the background algorithms and just spend my money wisely, it's just a matter of just understanding and knowing. So Irfan, other than your courses, okay, final comment, because I try to keep the conversation still around 25 minutes, because goldfish attention span of all the people who will be watching us, but luckily there are a lot of people that are watching us. I'm really glad. And for those who will be watching us later as well, just let me know what are your most favorite courses that you would have for somebody, woman entrepreneur, or एक कोई भी खातून जिसने अभी शुरू करना है, जिसको कुछ नहीं पता कि वेब डेवलपमेंट कैसे करनी है, एप्स कैसे बनती हैं, ऐप बनाऊं भी कि जरूरत ही कोई नहीं है, उसके लिए what are your most favorite courses, other than obviously Xeven's courses, which we are looking forward to, which you'll be sharing with us soon. Hold on. G.
Sorry, you're breaking in and out. Can't hear you few words. What is the most important? What you said?
I'm saying, what are your favorite courses that we should be looking at?
Still, you're breaking in and out. Sorry.
Can
Can
you
you
hear
hear
me
her,
now?
Aqsa?
She's breaking for me, but if you can hear me, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So she's asking about some courses that women should take, women entrepreneurs should be taking,
All
apart
right.
from
So,
the courses that you mentioned.
no, by the way, my courses are for free for everyone. There is no cost associated to it, so I not have to promote it actually. So basically, before the courses, I would like to add something for all the young entrepreneur, whether male or female. This is for everyone, particularly females, because I'm seeing this, and this is a huge problem. And the problem is this: they most of the time, I'm talking about majority of the female, is that they feel like AI blockchain is not for them, right? It's irrelevant to them. They should not go towards them. They can't learn them. They can't get a grip on them. This is a mindset I'm seeing in majority of the females, and that discouragement is coming right from the academic career. So basically, stop telling yourself that you cannot do this. You can do this. If you want to be successful in any field of life, you will just, your mind has to dominate your feelings. Simple. And that's the only way you can move forward. Talking about the courses, I would say that start from the basic, and the most important thing I suggest to most of the people is that start from front end development and front end coding. That gives you a different set of exposure, the user experience level of exposure, which is the easier language. It's not a perfectly a coding language, but that gives you confidence. You are typing something. For most of the beginners, HTML is a programming language, which is not a programming language, but that gives you that feeling, the freedom from where you get into a JavaScript, get into jQuery, and then you go to the backend, make certain component functional, but doing minor operation, and then gradually you move to a thing. Why I'm saying so? Because in our country, running a kitchen is something very important. Why I'm telling start from the front end? Because front end development can give you some money immediately. Then you move to the WordPress, and then you go to the custom programming languages. Once you are developing algorithm, start developing something for machine learning, go to Python, get into the machine learning world. You want to get into the blockchain, or you want to be a good server programmer, go. There's so many options,
Endless
but start from the
possibilities.
basic. Yeah, start from the basic, take care of your kitchen, and keep learning. That's what I suggest. And for that, learn any front end course, even from my channel.
Great. No, we really look forward to that. Aksa, very quickly, same question to you. Your top favorite courses that you think anybody should be taking up?
I think for specifically for machine learning, there's this really great course, AI for everyone. So it's on Coursera. Usually you can apply for financial aid and you get that in 2 weeks. And Pakistan ke liye, I don't think I've heard anyone say कि नहीं मिली है, so you get that. But that course is around. It's for people who are not techies, and it gives a very good insight into how AI can be used into different business models.
I
Just
wish
to add
both of
something
you
here,
join together. Sorry, Irfan. I wish
I
both of you
ju-
can join together and make a tech for dummies course so that people like myself can understand better and manage their processes better.
I
something
actually do have GitHub. On GitHub, I contributed with other GDEs to create this course ML for Rookies. It's on GitHub. But I would it's still for people who already have some coding knowledge and want to get a head start with ML. But AI for everyone is for people who are non-techies.
Great. Irfan.
I was saying that personally, I'm against mostly paid courses. I strongly believe that if people like us, people like Aqsa, start sharing their knowledge and who really want to learn, start consuming that content, we don't need paid courses. Basically, I'm running a campaign against substandard paid courses in Pakistan that is happening. Talking about Coursera, there are quality courses. Talking about LinkedIn Learning, quality courses. Talking about Udemy, there are quality courses. But talking about our YouTube, and there are many websites, I'm running a huge campaign against them. We need to step up. We need to empower our youth. Basically, when we are providing this content, we are providing this right from the core of the industry. We have to share our things honestly, selflessly, because we are making a lot of money sitting in this country. Country helped us a lot. We must give it back. So that's why I'm preferring free courses, free quality content from industry expert. And I really appreciate, Aqsa, that if you have that ML course for the rookie, that is exactly what we need, right from the professionals, free of cost.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And in the end, I would say that, it's really about you can do a fantastic course and spend millions on it until unless you put it into practice, then that too is a waste of everybody's time. Thank you so much, both of you, Irfan and Aqsa. This was a delightful conversation, and I think we've just touched the tip of the iceberg. And on behalf of CxO Global, we would really like to appreciate to both of you for taking out time and being here. But thank you so much, and we'll keep bothering you again and again, and seeing that what other areas and topics you would want to discuss for our series of tech shows that we have planned. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Honored to be here.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.
Take care.